Hi everyone, my name is Abhiraj Garikapati. Welcome to my YouTube channel Amazing Abhi. In excruciating pain from the unexpected low blow, as the injured villain stumbles backward, realizing with horror that his prey was faking his defeat the entire time, Lin Saichen calmly stands back up, completely unfazed. Wasting no time, Lin Saichen lunges forward and winds up his fist for another heavy attack, while the panicked masked man desperately tries to raise his guard to cover himself. However, Lin Saichen swiftly changes his angle and delivers a brutal upward kick, striking the masked man in the groin, yet again, and causing him to scream out in absolute agony as blood flies. The masked man is left in utter shock, desperately wondering how Lin Saichen can still unleash such immense strength and theorizing that the effects of his supposed military stimulant must still be active. Taking full advantage of his opponent's weakened state, Lin Saichen unleashes a relentless high-speed barrage of punches. The masked man tries to brace himself against the storm of fists, hoping that if he can just survive this wave of attacks, Lin Saichen will eventually exhaust himself and weaken. However, the villain quickly realizes with mounting terror that Lin Saichen's power is not fading at all. In fact, the force behind his ki and blood is actually growing stronger with every single strike. Bleeding heavily from his mouth, the masked man screams in disbelief, demanding to know how a mere 20-year-old at the ordinary biological level can continuously fight with the devastating power of a high-level Tier 4 expert. Ignoring his enemy's frantic questions, Lin Saichen lands a crushing punch directly on the masked man's face. Completely overwhelmed and pushed to the brink of death, the villain desperately cries out for the Ninth Elder to save him. Seeing that the masked man is finally at his breaking point, Lin Saichen focuses his power, concentrating a massive amount of swirling energy into his fist for a final, decisive strike. With explosive force, Lin Saichen unleashes the charged punch, launching the masked man helplessly into the air. The villain crashes violently back down onto the hard ground, the sheer force of the impact completely shattering his red-horned mask into pieces. The masked man lies helplessly on the ground, his face bruised and bloody. Lin Saichen stands over his defeated opponent and relentlessly unleashes a rapid chain of brutal punches directly into the man's face, deciding to finish him off and send him to the afterlife to reunite with his fallen subordinate. A system notification then appears, asking if he wishes to devour the enemy's essence. Panting heavily and looking at his own bruised, bloody knuckles, an exhausted Lin Saichen breathes a sigh of relief, glad that the grueling battle is finally over and his enemy is dead. He activates the system's devour function, extending his hand to absorb the glowing blue life essence flowing from the corpse. The system confirms that he has unlocked 2 new codexes, granting him new attributes that allow him to control nearby plants using his mind and significantly boost his own mental strength. Looking down at the lifeless body, Lin Saichen realizes that his opponent's powers were entirely focused on mental energy. He concludes that the man was essentially a mage with a fragile physical body, which explains exactly how Lin Saichen was able to exploit that weakness and kill someone at a much higher biological level. Suddenly the sound of slow clapping breaks the silence, and a surprised Lin Saichen turns his head in shock as an unfamiliar voice praises his incredible feat of defeating a high-level Tier VI expert while only beating at the ordinary Tier Roman 9 level. Looking up, Lin Saichen spots the man in the plague doctor mask standing high above on a thick vine. The imposing figure remarks that their elaborate scheme was completely worth it to find a genius like him, leaving Lin Saichen to nervously wonder if this newcomer is the mysterious Ninth Elder the masked man had desperately called out for moments ago. Standing high above the battlefield, the divine envoy expresses his genuine surprise at discovering someone with Lin Saichen's exceptional talent existing on Earth. As he speaks, he casually gestures with his hand, causing a massive swarm of dark, dangerously thorny vines to violently erupt from the ground, wrapping tightly around Lin Saichen. Completely trapped, Lin Saichen realizes with overwhelming dread that he cannot possibly break free, acutely aware that his opponent is a truly formidable rare-level expert. However, Lin Saichen is suddenly and unexpectedly freed as a barrage of sharp, intensely glowing projectiles shoots past him, cleanly slicing the thick vines into pieces, and leaving him completely surprised by the sudden rescue. The source of the devastating attack is revealed to be Madongji, who gracefully floats in the air while summoning a massive, swirling storm of icy projectiles around her. Her breathtaking presence completely shocks the arrogant masked man with her sudden appearance. Floating calmly amidst her swirling powers, Madongji confidently explains to the plague doctor masked man that she fully anticipated the plant god cult would target Lin Saichen after his outstanding performance. Thus she had been secretly guarding him, waiting in the shadows for them to finally make their move. The masked man simply chuckles, finding her clever trap amusing, but he remains confident, arrogantly claiming that he is more than capable of dealing with her alone. Deeply angered by his blatant arrogance, Madongji sharply retorts that she is certainly no longer the weak opponent she once was, and without warning she forcefully launches her massive barrage of glowing projectiles directly at him. In immediate response, the plague doctor masked man swiftly commands his own dark powers, causing a colossal, writhing wave of thick vines to erupt and violently clash head-on against Madongji's overwhelming wave of freezing ice. Fully realizing the terrifying scale of the ongoing clash, Lin Saichen quickly turns around and sprints away from the crumbling battlefield. He thinks to himself that he must escape immediately to avoid being helplessly caught in the destructive crossfire between two incredibly powerful rare-level experts. As Lin Saichen urgently sprints through the dense forest to escape the chaotic battlefield behind him, he suddenly senses a strange presence nearby. He abruptly stops to cautiously investigate, nervously wondering who or what might be lurking there. To his absolute shock, he discovers instructor Lucian Rang, still fully transformed into his massive tiger beast form, completely trapped and tightly bound by the dark thorny vines. The ensnared instructor quickly spots Lin Saichen and desperately calls out to him for immediate help. Seeing his fierce instructor's helpless predicament, Lin Saichen decides this is the perfect opportunity to test his newly acquired biological attributes. His eyes glow intensely as he focuses his mental strength, actively channeling his energy to trigger his new plant-controlling ability. To the trapped instructor's absolute surprise, the thick vines forcefully binding him automatically begin to loosen and retract into the soil. This miraculous rescue leaves him bewildered, silently wondering how the deadly magical trap managed to mysteriously untie itself. Now completely freed from the suffocating vines and safely standing alongside Lin Saichen, Instructor Lucian Rang listens as Lin Saichen explains his success. Lin Saichen cleverly tells him that he managed to kill the masked man with a swift sneak attack, because the dangerous villain was already heavily injured. With the magic user dead, the vine ability naturally deactivated. Hearing this logical explanation, the pragmatic instructor notes that they should not delay any longer. He urges them to quickly find the rest of the team so they can safely evacuate the area. A sensible plan, Lin Saichen firmly agrees with. A short and tense time later, they finally arrive at a wide clearing where the team's heavy military vehicles are parked among the giant roots, and the rest of the rescued students are gathered together. Suddenly, someone from the anxious crowd spots Lin Saichen approaching and loudly calls out his name in relief. And incredibly worried, but now immensely relieved, Chen Jinhan quickly breaks away from the gathered group and urgently sprints toward him. She tearfully exclaims how incredibly glad she is that he has finally returned to them safely. Without hesitating, she throws her trembling arms around Lin Saichen in a fierce, emotional embrace. She begins crying as she openly confesses how terrified she was of losing him and never seeing him again. She desperately pleads with him that they must never separate again, and a comforting Lin Saichen gently hugs her back, sincerely promising her that they will stay together from now on. Shortly after the deeply emotional reunion, Ma Weiwei cautiously approaches Lin Saichen to carefully check on his overall physical condition, genuinely asking if he sustained any injuries during his harrowing escape. She kindly holds out a valuable healing pill and generously offers it to him, but Lin Saichen politely declines the thoughtful offer, confidently assuring her that he isn't hurt at all and doesn't need the medicine. However, a stubborn Ma Weiwei firmly insists, gently but forcefully pressing the pill into his hands. She strictly tells him to keep it just in case he desperately needs it later on, an unexpectedly caring gesture that leaves Lin Saichen looking pleasantly surprised. Quickly getting back to the highly urgent situation, Lin Saichen seriously addresses the entire gathered team. He loudly announces that since everyone is accounted for, they must get into the armored vehicles and evacuate the hostile area immediately. He strictly warns them that it is incredibly dangerous to stay because a frighteningly powerful, rare-level expert from the plant god cult is currently engaged in a fierce battle with Madon Jai nearby, and they heavily risk being tragically caught in the crossfire. Following his orders, the team quickly boards the heavily armored military vehicles and rapidly speeds away through the overgrown forest. Safely inside the moving trucks, the trembling students openly voice their shock over the terrifying situation, completely amazed that both a rare-level enemy and Madon Jai are present. Furthermore, they nervously wonder aloud why the Central Military District hasn't sent any backup yet, given the extreme severity of the threat. As the roaring convoy frantically rushes to escape, before we move ahead, please take a second to like on this video. A like tells me that you enjoyed this topic. Your support helps Amazing Pie grow naturally. A highly mysterious barefoot figure suddenly descends rapidly from the sky, landing directly in their path with an intense surge of glowing, pink energy. Seeing the strange figure drop down, someone inside the vehicle loudly calls out, hopefully wondering if it is just another one of their instructors. However, absolute panic quickly sets in as the wide-eyed driver clearly spots the terrifying person through the windshield and immediately yells a desperate warning. Standing confidently right in the middle of the road, effortlessly blocking their escape route, is the legendary nine-tailed demon fox. Inside the speeding military vehicle, Instructor Liu Chanrong tightens his grip on the steering wheel and urgently warns the students to sit tight, knowing that anyone who can appear so silently in this dangerous area must be an enemy with bad intentions. The heavy truck barrels straight toward the nine-tailed demon fox, but just before it can hit her, she vanishes in a sudden flash of pink light, causing someone in the truck to cry out. The students inside are left bewildered, looking around the cabin and asking each other where the fox-seared girl could have possibly gone. Lin Zikin, however, breaks into a cold sweat. He focuses his senses, but realizes with shock that he cannot detect her presence at all. Knowing that even Instructor Liu, an advanced rank 6 expert, cannot sense her either, Lin Zikin dreads that the mysterious girl's power level must far exceed advanced rank 6. Suddenly, the nine-tailed demon fox reappears directly inside the cramped cabin, floating gracefully above the startled students and playfully asking if they are looking for her. Reacting without hesitation, Instructor Liu Tanrong demands to know her identity. He instantly transforms into his massive tiger beast form and fiercely charges at her from the driver's seat. Unfazed by the charging beast, the nine-tailed demon fox simply stares back, her red eyes glowing intensely as she unleashes her hypnotic power. Instructor Liu's eyes immediately turn the same glowing red, and his furious charge is halted as he instantly falls completely under her mental control. Now sitting comfortably among the terrified students, the nine-tailed demon fox calmly orders everyone to get out of the car. A completely shocked Liu Oyanjian watches helplessly as the hypnotized Instructor Liu wordlessly obeys the command and walks right out through the door. Sitting elegantly inside the vehicle, the nine-tailed demon fox announces that she has no interest in anyone besides Lin Zikin, and commands the rest of the students to leave immediately. Realizing that even their powerful instructor was easily defeated, the students agree that they must escape first and figure out a plan later, though some hesitate to abandon Lin Zichen. Stepping forward to protect them, Lin Zichen gestures for his teammates to fall back, firmly instructing everyone to get out of the vehicle since he knows he is the enemy's only target. He watches through the front windshield as Zhao Yuanzhang safely exits the truck, telling his teammate to take care of himself. However, a tearful Shen Qinghan grabs Lin Zichen's arm, refusing to leave his side and declaring that she will not let him face danger by himself again. In response, Lin Zichen gently urges her to step down and leave. First, finding the emotional display annoying, the nine-tailed demon fox uses her glowing pink energy to abruptly lift Shen Qinghan high into the air, causing Lin Zichen to cry out her name in alarm. With a forceful motion, the fox violently throws Shen Qinghan out of the vehicle, sending her crashing completely through the glass windows as Lin Zichen desperately shouts for her again. Rushing to the broken window, Lin Zichen looks outside and spots Mao Weiwei and Sheng Yu and Yu Ying helping Shen Qinghan to her feet in the forest. Seeing her safely standing with her friends, he breathes a sigh of relief, noting to himself that she is fine and only suffered torn clothing from the sudden ejection. With Shen Qinghan out of danger, the nine-tailed demon fox approaches Lin Zichen and announces that it is time for them to talk. Referring to him as her little servant, she explains that his powerful body and handsome appearance perfectly meet her requirements. She declares that the life energy of such a strong body must be rich and valuable, and that he is qualified to become her personal servant, someone she can keep by her side and draw energy from. Intrigued, Lin Zichen asks whether she is a genetic fusion user, an exotic beast, or perhaps an inhuman. She clarifies that she is none of those things. She explains that she comes from the origin land and that she is half earthling since her mother is a creature from the origin land while her father is an earthling whom she despises for deceiving her mother and whom she has never met. Holding up a collar glowing with pink energy, she states that, to her, men are only fit to serve her. Bound by a collar, she presents the collar to Lin Zichen, asks if he is willing to wear it and become her personal servant, claiming that she has been completely honest with him. Lin Zichen asks what would happen if he refused. She tells him that he has no reason to refuse and even less the right to do so. Instead of giving a direct answer, Lin Zichen says that he needs time to think about it. Internally, his true plan is to stall for time, hoping that the military district or President Yuan will arrive to rescue him. Trying to persuade him, she asks him to admire her beauty and figure. Mentioning that countless creatures in the origin land desire her, she asks if he is sure he does not want to become her servant, but Lin Zichen insists that he needs time to think about it. Her patience runs out and with a threatening expression, she asks if the reason for his refusal is the little sister outside the vehicle. Before Lin Zichen can react, she instantly appears outside the truck, grabbing a terrified Shen Qinghan by the face and coldly declaring that she will kill her instead. Inside the speeding military vehicle, Instructor Lidu Chanrong tightens his grip on the steering wheel and urgently warns the students to sit tight, knowing that anyone who can appear so silently in this dangerous area must be an enemy with bad intentions. The heavy truck barrels straight toward the nine-tailed demon fox, the engine roaring as it charges forward across the rough terrain. But just before it can hit her, she vanishes in a sudden flash of pink light, disappearing without leaving the slightest trace, and causing someone in the truck to cry out in shock. The students inside are left completely bewildered by what they just witnessed, nervously looking around the cramped cabin and asking each other where the fox-eared girl could have possibly gone. Lin Zichen, however, breaks into a cold sweat. His expression stiffens as he focuses his senses, carefully trying to track her aura, but realizes with shock that he cannot detect her presence at all. Knowing that even Instructor Lidu, an advanced rank 6 expert, cannot sense her either, Lin Zichen dreads that the mysterious girl's power level must far exceed advanced rank 6, a terrifying possibility that makes his heart sink. Suddenly, the nine-tailed demon fox reappears directly inside the cramped cabin, floating gracefully in mid-air above the startled students as if gravity means nothing to her, playfully asking if they are looking for her. Reacting without hesitation, Instructor Liu Tan Rong immediately demands to know her identity. His body rapidly transforms as he turns into his massive tiger beast form, roaring fiercely while launching a powerful charge at her straight from the driver's seat. Unfazed by the charging beast rushing toward her, the nine-tailed demon fox simply stares back calmly, her red eyes glowing intensely as she unleashes her hypnotic power. Instructor falls completely under her mental control, his powerful body freezing in place. Now sitting comfortably among the terrified students as if she owns the place, the nine-tailed demon fox calmly orders everyone to get out of the car. A completely shocked Loyang Jiang watches helplessly as the hypnotized Instructor Lidu wordlessly obeys the command and quietly walks right out through the door without resistance. Sitting elegantly inside the vehicle with an air of absolute confidence, the nine-tailed demon fox announces that she has no interest in anyone besides Lin Zichen, and commands the rest of the students to leave immediately. Realizing that even their powerful instructor was easily defeated in seconds, the students quickly agree that they must escape first and figure out a plan later, though some hesitate for a moment, clearly unwilling to abandon Lin Zichen behind. Stepping forward to protect them, Lin Zichen gestures firmly for his teammates to fall back, instructing everyone to get out of the vehicle since he knows he is clearly the enemy's only target. He watches through the front windshield as Zhao Yuanzhong safely exits the truck, calling out to his teammate to take care of himself. However, a tearful Chen Qinghan suddenly grabs Lin Zichen's arm, refusing to leave his side and declaring that she will not let him face danger by himself again. Her voice trembles with determination as she stubbornly refuses to move. In response, Lin Zichen gently urges her to step down and leave first, trying to reassure her despite the danger surrounding them. Finding the emotional display irritating and unnecessary, the nine-tailed demon fox raises her hand and releases a surge of glowing pink energy that abruptly lifts Chen Qinghan high into the air, causing Lin Zichen to cry out her name in alarm. With a sudden and forceful motion, the fox. Before we move ahead, please take a second to share on this video. Sharing helps this video reach friends who may also enjoy anime, gaming, travel, cricket, chess, career basics, or personal stories. Your support helps Amazing Abhai grow naturally. Violently throws Chen Qinghan out of the vehicle, sending her crashing completely through the glass windows as Lin Zichen desperately shouts for her again. Rushing to the broken window, Lin Zichen quickly looks outside and spots Mao Weiwei and Shang Yuanyuing helping Chen Qinghan to her feet among the trees of the surrounding forest. Seeing her safely standing with her friends, he finally breathes a sigh of relief, noting to himself that she appears fine and only suffered torn clothing from the sudden ejection. With Chen Qinghan out of danger, the nine-tailed demon fox slowly approaches Lin Zichen and announces that it is finally time for them to talk. Referring to him in a teasing tone as her little servant, she explains that his powerful body and handsome appearance perfectly meet her requirements. According to her, the life energy of such a strong body must be rich and valuable, and that is exactly why he is qualified to become her personal servant, someone she can keep by her side and continuously draw energy from. Intrigued, but cautious, Lin Zichen asks whether she is a genetic fusion user, an exotic beast, or perhaps an inhuman creature. She calmly clarifies that she is none of those things. Instead, she explains that she comes from the origin land and that she is half earthling. Her mother is a creature from the origin land, while her father is an earthling whom she deeply despises for deceiving her mother and whom she has never even met. Holding up a collar glowing with pink energy, she states coldly that, to her, men are only fit to serve her. Bound by a collar, she presents the collar to Lin Zichen and asks if he is willing to wear it and become her personal servant. Claiming that she has been completely honest with him, Lin Zichen calmly asks what would happen if he refused. She simply tells him that he has no reason to refuse and even less the right to do so. Instead of giving a direct answer, Lin Zichen says that he needs time to think about it. Internally, however, his true plan is to stall for time, secretly hoping that the military district or President Yuan will arrive soon enough to rescue him from this dangerous situation. Trying to persuade him further, she asks him to admire her beauty and perfect figure, mentioning that countless creatures in the origin land desire her. She asks again if he is truly sure that he does not want to become her servant, but Lin Zichen firmly insists that he still needs time to think about it. Her patience finally runs out, and with a cold and threatening expression, she asks if the reason for his refusal is the little sister waiting outside the vehicle. Before Lin Zichen can even react, she instantly appears outside the truck, moving faster than the eye can follow, grabbing a terrified Shen Qinghan by the face and coldly declaring that she will kill her instead. As the nine-tailed demon fox threatens to end Shen Qinghan's life, Lin Zichen fiercely charges at her. He lands a devastating punch directly on the fox's head, noting that she feels like a fake clone. However, the reality of the situation abruptly snaps into focus. Lin Zichen finds himself on the ground, having just swung wildly at thin air mere inches from a very confused Shen Qinghan, who asks what is wrong with him. Still disoriented, he replies that he was trying to save her. His bewildered teammates look on, and Lamo Yu questions why he suddenly leaped from the safety of the vehicle just to throw a punch at nothing as if he were fighting a ghost. A deeply shocked Lin Zichen breaks into a cold sweat, realizing how ruthless his misdirected strike was. Sitting casually in the broken window of their armored truck, the nine-tailed demon fox gloats that her physical body is only at the ordinary rank 9 level and would have never survived such a heavy blow, confirming Lin Zichen's suspicions. Lin Zichen grimly concludes that his previous attack was entirely against an illusion. He realizes that her ability to effortlessly manipulate people's senses with just a fraction of her spiritual power makes her an incredibly troublesome opponent. Dropping gracefully down from the truck, the fox states that she is done toying with him. She suddenly summons a horde of glowing pink clones that charge forward, declaring her genuine intent to murder his sweetheart this time. Surrounded by the charging illusions, Lin Zichen acknowledges that physical strikes are useless if his mental strength is inferior. Closing his eyes, he decides to gamble on a new, untested ability. Activating his advanced spirit, Lin Zichen's eyes glow with intense blue energy, allowing him to clearly see that the attacking foxes are indeed just illusions. With his enhanced perception, the threatening clones become transparent and fade away, revealing Shenzhen Han standing alone and unharmed amidst the chaos. Turning his attention back to the armored truck, Lin Zichen spots the nine-tailed demon fox sitting casually and wonders if he has finally located her true body. Without hesitation, he forcefully lunges at her to deliver a strike. However, his fist passes harmlessly through her form, causing him to realize with frustration that she has tricked him with yet another illusion. Knowing that her primary target is Shenzhen Han, Lin Zichen quickly leaps back to position himself defensively in front of his teammate. The fox praises Lin Zichen for his ability to instantly boost his spiritual power and break through her proud illusion technique, leaving him shocked. The nine-tailed demon fox abruptly materializes right in front of him. Leaning in close, she declares that he continues to pleasantly surprise her. Panic sets in as Lin Zichen wonders if the fox has somehow disguised herself as Shenzhen Han, or if he is simply trapped in another layer of illusion. Suddenly, he feels a hand grab his arm from behind. He turns to see Shenzhen Han anxiously calling out his name. Carefully holding her hand, Lin Zichen notes her genuine body temperature and touch, reassuring himself that this is the real Shenzhen Han, even as she wordly asks what is wrong with him. Carrying the real Shenzhen Han securely in his arms, Lin Zichen rapidly assesses his situation. He deduces that his newly activated advanced spirit can drastically reduce the duration of the fox's mind control, combined with the fact that her physical body is much weaker than his own. Lin Zichen concludes that engaging her is unnecessary and fleeing is their best strategy. He sprints away as fast as he can through the eerie, red-lit forest, but the fox's voice echoes ominously around them, warning that they cannot escape. A colossal glowing red ice suddenly manifests in the sky directly above them. The fox taunts Lin Zichen from the heavens, challenging him to see if he can break through this massive illusion, leaving him shocked. Meanwhile, a fiery explosion violently erupts elsewhere in the overgrown forest, marking the ongoing clash between the two rare-level experts. Floating high in the air, Mo Dongji relentlessly unleashes a devastating high-speed barrage of sharp ice crystals down upon her enemy. On the ground, the Plague Doctor Mask's divine envoy calmly raises his hand, summoning a massive dense barrier of thick, thorny vines to absorb the heavy icy onslaught. Unfazed by her attack, the divine envoy taunts Mo Dongji, noting that her combat strength will severely drop once her available water source depletes. With a commanding gesture, he causes colossal spiked vines to violently erupt from the ground toward her. He confidently declares that she has no chance of winning because, before we move ahead, please take a second to like on this video. A like tells me that you enjoyed this topic. Your support helps Amazing Apai grow naturally. The heavily overgrown forest is his home turf. Forced on the defensive, Mo Dongji summons a swirling barrier of water to block the towering spikes crashing toward her. Mo Dongji retaliates by unleashing fierce, high-pressure blasts of water that cleanly slice the massive vines into pieces. Despite his attacks being shredded, the divine envoy continues to boast, proclaiming that the divine plant cult holds immense power in the source land due to their inexhaustible resources of spiritual plants in the southern region. The masked divine envoy then summons another massive wave of thick vines toward Mo Dongji. Attempting to recruit her, he promises that her exceptional talent would earn her an inexhaustible supply of rare spiritual resources if she were to join the divine plant cult. Mo Dongji fiercely rejects the offer. Struggling to maintain her watery barrier against the crushing pressure of the vines, she coldly declares that unlike an inhuman traitor, such as himself, she would never join a heretical cult that actively persecutes humanity. Looking down from atop his vines, the envoy casually debates her morals. He argues that human nature is inherently selfish and claims that the true in humanity lies within modern society, and the excessive rules that restrict people. Mo Dongji refuses to listen, accusing him of spreading deceptive fallacies. She retaliates forcefully, generating massive, sharp ice crystals to pierce and shatter the encroaching vines surrounding her barrier. Scoffing at her stubborn resistance, the envoy warns her that she is blindly fighting a losing battle, immediately triggering an even larger and denser eruption of spiked vines from all directions. He reveals a crucial tactical advantage to his powers. His demonic plans actively absorb the very water she uses to defend herself, guaranteeing that her elemental defenses will inevitably fail. Overwhelmed by the sheer volume and parasitic nature of the attack, Mo Dongji's barrier is finally breached. The thick vines quickly wrap around her limbs and torso, completely immobilizing her in midair. Confident in his victory, the envoy mocks her, leaving her trapped to struggle. However, as the divine envoy confidently prepares to leave his trapped opponent behind to hunt down Lin Zichen, the battle is far from over. Refusing to let the envoy take the young genius, Mo Dongji's eyes flare with intense energy. She resolves to unleash her true power to break free, even if she has to risk a dangerous mutation. To do so, suddenly, a deafening rushing sound echoes through the night, sending flocks of panicked birds fleeing from the canopy. The divine envoy turns around in utter confusion, shocked to see a colossal glowing blue tsunami crashing directly over the dense forest. High in the sky, an unbelievable volume of water gathers and swirls into a massive dragon. Mo Dongji calls out, directly addressing his earlier boast about the forest being his territory. Having completely broken free from the vines, she stands powerfully amidst the surging waves. Pointing forward as the gigantic, terrifying water dragon materializes behind her, she declares that she will simply turn the entire area into an ocean, forcefully making it her own home turf. The area darkens as Lin Zichen holds a dazed, Shenqing hand, confused by the sudden change. The environment shifts into an illusion of swirling blue currents and flying fish. Lin Zichen notes the technique's power, realizing the demoness's magic has severely clouded Shenqing Han's mind. Activating his advanced spirit attribute, Lin Zichen is relieved. His mind is shielded, knowing he will not be controlled by the illusion for long. The watery illusion fades, revealing the nine-tailed demon fox in the vine-covered forest. She has surprised Lin Zichen, withstood her technique and questions if his biological level is only ordinary tier Roman 9. The fox marvels that a resource-poor planet like Earth could produce such a genius, thinking he would already be rare level if born in her home world, the origin land. Believing Earth is a waste of his potential, she asks him to return to the origin land with her as her personal servant, offering to trade his life essence for evolutionary resources, so they can grow stronger together. While holding Shenqing Han, Lin Zichen sees the surrounding darkness fading. He deduces that maintaining the massive illusion has drained the fox's mental energy, leaving her struggling. Sensing an opening, Lin Zichen's expression hardens as he activates his plant-controlling ability. Lord of the Forest, as thorny vines slither across the ground, the fox warns Lin Zichen that her patience is running out. He challenges her, pointing out that she is still hiding in an illusion instead of revealing her true body. The fox smiles wickedly and teasingly, asks her little servant if he is considered that she might actually be in her true form right now. To test her bold claim, Lin Zichen declares there is only one way to find out. At his command, multiple thick thorny vines erupt from the ground surrounding the fox. The sharp vines swiftly wrap around the fox's limbs, immobilizing her in midair. She cries out in shock, astounded that Lin Zichen can manipulate vines. Certain the vines have secured her true body. Lin Zichen realizes this is his chance to strike, and lunges forward with his fist. He lands a devastating full-force punch on the trapped fox's head, creating a massive impact. However, as the dust settles, Lin Zichen is left completely shocked and confused by the outcome. He sees the fox has vanished without a drop of blood, leaving only a massive, fluffy white tail. He deduces she severed her tail to escape. Picking up the tail, Lin Zichen gets a system prompt, asking if he wishes to devour it. He wonders if he can absorb the essence of a detached body part. Meanwhile, in a grand room in the distant origin land, the real nine-tailed demon fox sits on a bed enveloped in pink energy, amused by what happened. Smiling wickedly, she acknowledges Lin Zichen shattered her high-level tier 3 illusion and destroyed her clone. Impressed by his potential, she declares him the perfect cultivation vessel and vows to make him hers. Her plotting is interrupted by two fox-seared maids with news. They report that the Night King's youngest son, a rare-level prodigy, has volunteered to be her servant, suggesting he could evolve into a legendary creature with her help. To their surprise, the fox is dismissive of the offer. As her servants kneel, she arrogantly remarks that right now she wouldn't even accept the Night King himself. Relaxing on her bed, she instructs her maids to reject all future suitors, confidently declaring she has already found the perfect candidate on Earth. Back in the forest, Lin Zichen devours the tail, absorbing a trace of the fox's life essence and unlocking 10% of her codex. The enemy's strength felt surprisingly average, so he begins to suspect he just fought a clone. With the fox gone, the illusion shatters. Lin Zichen lands on the grass with Shen Qing'an. As Limo Yu and the team break free from the mind control, confusedly asking where the fox girl went. Approaching his bewildered team and instructor Liu Chan wrong, Lin Zichen calmly informs them that he drove the enemy away. A shocked instructor Liu asks how he managed it. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to Amazing Apai. Subscribing makes sure you do not miss the next video, and it gives me motivation to keep improving the quality of every upload. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next one.